Hello, Fearless Gamers, Matt here for Fearless Games, and welcome to another video blog. So today, you can see we got another big box here, and that means we've got another Kickstarter unboxing, and as mentioned, it is the second half of Primal the Awakening. So this is all the stretch goals and expansion stuff that I had picked up to go along with the game. So not gonna mince any words, let's pop this open and see what we got. First and foremost, you'll probably note it, one thing of note is this box is a lot bigger than the core box was, which, not gonna lie, a little surprised by that. I was expecting it to roughly be the same size, not to be bigger than it. And so let's get this open. All right. Okay. So, now if I am recalling correctly, this is all the sleeves for the game. This was their solution to the cards and the insert that they had in the core box. When it was all said and done, as most people know, when you sleeve the cards, they get thicker, and they didn't fit in the insert they designed for the core box. So their solution was to take the box that they were going to store the card sleeves for the game and use it as a sleeved card organizing box. Wasn't the greatest idea, if you ask me. But this is their setup, so these are all the sleeves for the game, and when you're done, this serves as a holder for all the cards. Not sure I like that too much. It is a really cool looking box, but honestly, I think there was a better solution to that. Just make the insert better, or just account for the cards being, sleeved, especially since now, if you sleeve your cards, you put them in this box, have a lot of empty, wasted space in the core box. So it was like I said, I could see it was a solution that wasn't the best one that they could have done for that. And now here are all the terrain, the expansions. We got the Ice expansion, Venom expansion, Feather expansion, the Mount Havoc expansion, and the Nightmare expansion, and the terrain box, which you can't really see, but there it is. So like I mentioned before, this is all the different terrain features for this game. And like I mentioned in the last video, one of the really cool things about this terrain set is that, you can see here in just a moment. You can see right there, they're actually modeled so the bases, so some of them are modeled so the player characters can actually sit on the terrain to better represent that they are protected by it. So, once again, some phenomenal detail here. There's one of the plants. And we got this boulder, which, as I mentioned, put the player right there. That way you can represent that he's standing on top of the rock real easily. We got the plants. And as you can see here, see the base of this terrain is designed so that the player base can get right up to it to represent that he's behind the bush, or she, and there's no arguments on whether or not the player is in cover or not, which I think was a smart design. A lot of games don't really bring that into account, and like you can see here, like on this rock again, they shaped it so there's a nice little slot that the base can go into. Like I said, a lot of terrain, they make them really look cool, but they don't, a lot of times they don't account for interaction with models. And then you get these arguments of, wait, is he protected by the cover? Is he not? There's more of the terrain there. So that was one idea that I thought was a really smart one on their part, and I think more companies should consider that when designing terrain for games involving 3D miniatures. Okay. And so that there was the terrain set. And so let's pop open, whoops, sorry. Get some of that foam out of the way. Now let's take a look at these extra expansions here. So this is the Nightmare expansion. I think, if I recall, this is the one some people were concerned about the legs of the monster warping over time, and he would start like leaning forward, like one person brought up the T-Rex in a Batman miniature game that had that issue. So comes with the expansion book for one-off adventures, and I think adding it to the core game, and then the campaign book specifically involving the Nightmare expansion, kind of like in Kingdom Death, where some of the monsters were just add-ons to the core game. Some, like the Sun Eater or the Dragon King, came with their own special campaign. And got his game boards for all the monsters, because this was, like I said, since it's a whole campaign, it comes with a slew of different monsters. And then you got, looks like, you got some tokens. Classic Punch-Out tokens. Got some more decks of cards. These seem to be all cards related to, like I said, the monsters and special gear cards. And then let's see, we get these models out here. They like to tape all these down. I will give them credit. They did make sure this was well packed. So let's see if I can get this off here. There we go. And there's our new monsters for this. There is... this guy's a little spiky. There is really cool, like, turtle creature. Kind of reminds me of the Angerless from Godzilla. And this is the monster. Oh, sorry. This is like a cool, like, hybrid dog/bug thing. Again, really loving the detail that goes into these monster minis. And here is the what's the word I'm looking for? The star of this pack. This is the one some people, I believe, were concerned that his legs, because of how thin his legs are, he might droop over time, but not sure. He feels pretty solid. I'm not sure if that'll be an issue with him, because he's not like a soft plastic. He's a pretty hard plastic on there. But again, look at that crazy amount of detail going into that guy. It's just wild. Every time I see monsters, the monster minis from this game, it just blows my mind how crazy detailed they are. Hey. Alright, and then and that was the Nightmare expansion. And that's cool. The sides of the boxes have little, like, little small quotes, giving it a little more of a what's the word? That's more flavor text involved. And this is the Mount Havoc expansion. I believe this adds an extra character to the game. So you can do 5 players instead of 4. Or they could just be special characters specifically for this campaign. Oh no, looks like it's a new one, because this is looks like this is one that doesn't have a special campaign for it. This is just an add-on to the core game. And again, more sheets. Yeah, this is just adding, I think, characters to the game. It adds more tokens, more locations. Let's see. Character sheet, Mounted Havoc. So this is a special character sheet for this game. And a lot more cards, more the battle equipment, action decks, and gear decks, and the 2 players that you got here. Really crazy detail. One thing I also love about this is just how ridiculous the weapons are in the game. I feel it just looks so outlandish that it just adds personality to the game as a whole. Like that crazy looking Gatling gun that she's got there. It's funny, it's because of the bone detail on the front. I keep always thinking it's like some sort of crossbow thing, but it's more of a Gatling gun. It's really cool. Okay, put those away. Put these back. It goes in like that. One thing I will give them credit for, it's fairly easy to get everything back in the boxes. So they did design the box inserts with the idea that you're going to use the box inserts. This one is the Feather expansion. This one has a really cool, like, dragon creature monster to it, and I'm a big fan of dragons, so that's a plus in my book. Get this shrink wrap off. Got the Feather expansion. This one comes with its own campaign, The Path of the Lantern. This one adds new settlement locations. Got your monster boards. Gear cards, new tokens. Looks like this is terrain. These are punch out pieces of the terrain in case you didn't get the 3D terrain expansion. Inside there are the cards for the monsters, and here are the monster models. Let's see, get this out of here. Where's those scissors? I had them somewhere. Oh, there they are. Shows how quickly I forget that they put all these, tape everything up. Okay. And he's got another extra plastic piece. But there's one guy. Kind of reminds me of the, I forget the name of the dinosaur from Jurassic Park, the one that has the fin in the front that shoots out the blinding acid. That's what this one reminds me of a little bit. Like I said, even though these pieces are decent size, they're actually surprisingly light. There's the dragon. It's kind of like a Asian style dragon, but really cool. Like I said, once again, can't get over how crisp the detail on these things are. They really did a wondrous job in the model production of this game. Like, quality alone, the game is definitely worth it. Okay. Let's get you back in there. Yep. And then okay. And then there's that expansion. And this one here is the Venom expansion. This one, the major monster of this expansion is a giant serpent. And it's the expansion book, campaign, the myth of Ouroboros, adds new settlement locations. We got monster trays. This one looks like it's new terrain and tokens. New gear card. The monster attack cards are right here. And then we got the monsters themselves. Let's see, how badly are these taped on? Pretty bad. Let's get the scissors. Okay. This one we got basically what kind of looks like a swamp, just a giant swamp lizard. Fairly generic, but still designed and posed in such a way that gives him personality despite his more generic looking design. Really cool. And then the big bad of the game, of this expansion, which is, I said, a giant serpent-like creature. The way that mouth is kind of reminds me of the Predator and a Graphloid from Tremors. Don't mind the cat crying in the background, he just wants attention. Nope, something's not in there right. Probably him. I think that's how he goes. Nope, I'll have to figure out how he goes back later. I'm not gonna waste time putting them back in the box when we have one more expansion left to look at, and that is the Ice expansion. And this is it. There's no other pieces. There were two things that I didn't bother with this. As I mentioned, two things I didn't get with this that would have been in this tray if I had gone with it, which is the neoprene battle mat, which I just thought didn't do anything because it was literally just the game board in neoprene form. It didn't add any extra organization, so I didn't think it was worth it. And the art book. I'm not going to display the art book, so I just didn't see any point to it. Then we got our Ice expansion, our new campaign, the Northern Stars, new settlement locations, new monster cards, more terrain. It's interesting, it looks like some of the terrain that is here is not in the terrain expansion pack, which kind of interesting, unless it just looks different from the artwork on the tokens. And we got the gear cards. That's them. And then got your monster cards right there. Basically, they're action decks. As I mentioned in the first unboxing, this game uses cards for all of its actions. So you draw a card, that's your action. You draw a card, that's the monster's action, and so on and so forth. So all the decks are primarily resources and action cards. And here is, there we go. We got first this like snow weasel-like monster. Kind of interesting. And then we got our big bad, which is this like mammoth kind of looking creature. Really huge tail. I love the icicles dripping off his tail. Really nice detail there, and also on his legs, kind of giving the illusion of fur. And also has like a little beard. Really nice crisp detail. Like I said, the model's details are so crisp, you can instantly tell what those details were on some lower quality models that may have been mistaken for fur. So again, the model production on these guys were top notch. They are nice and solid, but still very lightweight. They have like no weight to them, but they feel solid. It's kind of crazy. And that is the entirety of this Kickstarter. So, like I said, once again, the only problem that this game has is how it's all laid out. The organization of this game is not the greatest. Was I expecting to be able to put everything all in one box. No, you know, especially in this day and age with just how crazy some of these games are getting, can't expect them to be able to put everything in a single box nowadays. But there definitely could have been some better decisions made regarding the cards and keeping them all in the core box. But that is where another video that I'm working on will come into play, where we'll explore trying to condense down not just this game, but any game that you may have where either an organizer is not available or just not practical for you to purchase, but that will be saved for another video. So thank you all for watching. Once again, if you've gotten yours, have you had a chance to play it yet? If so, what do you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comments, and give that hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Click that little bell icon so you actually get told when these videos get made, and give this video a like if you enjoy what you see. We'd really appreciate it. So until next time, Fearless Gamers, take care.